Hello and welcome into Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and on today's episode, we take a deep dive into what the New England Patriots offense is going to look like and how it's going to match up against the rest of the NFL, and the results could actually surprise you. Additionally, a look at Milton Williams, a top free agent signing for your New England Patriots. Another defensive lineman that is taking a surprising entrance into the NFL, and a look at if the Patriots can avoid what's going on with Rafael Devers and your Boston Red Sox. Before we get into everything, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about the Patriots offense and where Drake May and co. could rank amongst the AFC and NFL's best offensive units. There are a lot, and it could go any way. So interested to hear what you think about what this team is going to look like on the offensive side of the ball. Make sure you give us a like if you like what you hear. And after this one, make sure you go back and check out all of our other episodes so you can get caught up on everything going on this offseason. We start today looking at the offensive unit and what's going on with the Patriots. Obviously, Josh McDaniels now going to lead the charge from the coaching perspective, obviously with the insight of Mike Vrabel, and Drake May taking the second-year leap, perhaps. But as we look at it, unfortunately, it could look like the Patriots are going to be ranked as a bottom 10 offense, at least to start. The usual suspects as you look at the NFL, the Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles, and Buffalo Bills will be the top 5 offenses in the NFL. What the next 15 or so shake out as, you can look at the Chargers and the Commanders and a lot of other teams that have shown they have the playoff pedigree from last season and looking for those to bounce back, such as the Cincinnati Bengals. For the Patriots, the teams that they will be going up against, you will probably rank the New Orleans Saints, who have massive quarterback concerns, the New York Giants, who, while they do have Malik Neighbors, their quarterback, whether it's going to be Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, or their rookie, there's questions. Same to be said for Cam Ward, who likely will start from day one for the Tennessee Titans. The Indianapolis Colts looking to be Daniel Jones with Anthony Richardson's injury there as well, and the Cleveland Browns with 5 quarterbacks on the roster, and who's the starting quarterback, anybody's guess. Those quarterback questions, I think, for me at least, automatically slots the Patriots ahead of those teams. And while the New York Jets will have a improved offensive line, obviously still have Garrett Wilson, and a plethora of running backs, what Justin Fields is able to bring to the table remains to be seen. They'll obviously try and put him into some great positions to succeed, but we haven't seen him really excel at the NFL level, at least not the same way that Drake May has. So for me, I would put them ahead of those teams, and that's already putting them at the number 26 mark. Whether it's the Las Vegas Raiders, who are going to have a brand new offensive scheme as well, but adding Ashton Genty into the mix and Geno Smith there as well, you could see the Patriots make a leap over them. Other teams that could potentially go one way or the other, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who obviously did struggle last season with the health of Trevor Lawrence and being able to get him a new head coach who is really focused on the offensive side with Liam Cohen, should again bring that team back to better standards that they've had previously. The Carolina Panthers seem to make a big leap with Bryce Young stepping up. But again, is that something that NFL defenses can start to play against? I think another team that you could look at is the Seattle Seahawks, with a lot of change going on there. And Mike Macdonald really wanted to take the long haul approach in putting this stamp on a team. And can Sam Darnold recapture the magic that he had in Minnesota a year ago? Again, if things roll that way, suddenly the Patriots are up to number 22 as an offensive ranking. But again, that would put them as in that bottom 10 mix in the offensive rankings in the NFL. I don't think that's overly surprising with a young team and one that's being built up across the board. And outside of Stephon Diggs, there are questions, even with Stephon Diggs, really, questions about the wide receiving core. The line should be much better, adding Travion Henderson along with Ramondre Stevenson to the backfield, and obviously looking for that jump from Drake May. I think you could kind of see this go one of two ways. You're going to expect to see that 26 to 22 ranking. You'll see hiccups, good weeks, bad weeks, or the offense completely comes together. Josh McDaniels shows that his year away was the best thing that could have happened for him as a play caller. Drake May takes that big time leap and shows that he's not just a Pro Bowl replacement, he is a Pro Bowl level quarterback. And the wide receivers that start to shake out and really develop consistency for Drake May. And that could allow the Patriots to become that top half offense if you get to that number 16 ranking as well. I think for right now on paper, though, however, it is going to be that bottom 10 with a lot to prove out on the football field, but the opportunities will indeed be ahead of them. Flipping it to the other side of the ball, Milton Williams, who has looked great, obviously, in OTAs and mini camps, but again, without the use of pads and being able to use the physicality that is usually reserved for defensive linemen, Milton has had a bit of a tough go in that regard, where his best asset is taken away from him. Now, obviously, as the highest paid free agent in Patriots history, that's a lot of money, over $100 million given to a defensive tackle that really can't put his mark on it. But at just 26 years old, it's absolutely the right investment for the Patriots, someone that lines up with Mike Vrabel's vision for what this team will be. And I think Milton Williams is absolutely eager to get out there. He spoke in some post-camp interviews about wanting to get back home, getting back to training, just getting ready for training camp to start up here in just over a month's time. And again, 4.5 weeks waiting around, waiting for things to come. Okay, get in a quick vacation, get some time in with your family, but get to the gym, keep your body ready, and understand the challenge that's ahead of you. And Milton Williams has absolutely showed that previously. As just 4 quick years in the league, improving every year, and did it on the grandest stage, this showcase of immortals. That's for the Super Bowl, not just WrestleMania for the insiders there, but showing it against the best of the best with Patrick Mahomes, sacking him twice, forcing a fumble in that game, as it was truly a dominant effort by the Philadelphia Eagles, and Milt Williams starring in that role as well. He's absolutely needed by the Patriots, a team that finished dead last in the NFL in sacks. And that interior pressure is really going to open things up, especially playing next to Christian Barmore, who looks to be fully returned and healthy after a year away and some injury scares for him as well. And opening things up for guys like Harold Landry and Keon White as well. And hopefully seeing Clavon Chasen and Anthony Jennings stepping up too, the latter, one that has actually seen his time, even in mini camp and OTAs, kind of drop down, where he was nowhere near the first team and sparing on the second as well. So opportunity abounds. There's actually a bunch of free agent defensive linemen who are still out there, and ones that we'll actually take a look at on tomorrow's episode on players that could really fit well on a unit that is already gearing up as one that could be ready to add to this reign of terror for Milton Williams and company. Speaking of defensive linemen who are switching teams, one that potentially could be in a surprising and roundabout way for the Cincinnati Bengals, their first round draft pick of Shamar Stewart is apparently joining Trey Hendrickson as holdouts. Now, a little surprising for a first rounder who was taken 17th overall, but the Bengals are just messing around with some boilerplate language in a contract that Shamar is not playing games. Everyone has seen what they've done for players like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, what they're doing with Trey Hendrickson. And again, the Bengals are frugal, for lack of a better term. They are going to understand what they're getting for their money, their ROI, and apparently that goes for first round rookies as it does for NFL sack leaders who are about to turn 30. There's several ways that this could go. The nuclear option is that Shamar Stewart says, forget this, I'm out, I'm pulling out of the NFL, I'm going back in the NFL draft. And with the NIL money that's available, he could recoup a lot of what he is missing out on. What he's missing out on is potentially a $10 million signing bonus. And again, you don't want to miss out a few mil here or there because you never know And as we know, there are no guarantees in the NFL, but there's a lot on the table here. And with the way the Bengals have done business in the past, you can't put anything past anybody at this point. And while Mike Vrabel has kept an eye and says he's open um, to improving his roster in any way, and whether that's Terry McLaurin holding out, Trey Hendrickson, I think you have to put Shamar Stewart up there as well and say, hey, you're not going to give up a first round pick because you just don't know where it would end up next year for a 17th overall. But if things start to get dicey, you could say, hey, we'll give our second rounder and a player to go after a guy like this. Now, full disclosure, I do not think that will happen. I think the Bengals and Shamar will eventually get to a place where they can agree on the contract language. But again, for Shamar, he's got to tell his truth and his side of the story here, risking future guarantees if he makes a public comment after he signs that deal. So things need to get out, and probably will in the next few weeks here before the end of this deal comes to fruition. But don't be surprised to see some chatter on other places that he could end up. But I think, again, off-season storylines that come to fruition, some interesting ones, and not surprising that it's the Bengals yet again that are causing problems with some contracts. Speaking of problems with contracts and something going on for a crosstown support system for the Boston Red Sox, who just hours after sweeping the rival New York Yankees decide to trade away their best hitter. Yes, moving on from Rafael Devers, yet another generational player, not maybe to the level of Mookie Betts, but doing so for apparently financial reasons as well as some issues in the clubhouse as well. Chose not to play first or third base after being moved over to DH when Alex Bregman was added in. And again, when Tristan Casas goes down at first base, asking if he would go play there, apparently did not want to do that. And now, right after being traded to the Giants, he's already ready to move to first base. It shows that there's a lot of maybe dysfunction going on, whether that's clubhouse or front office. It is surprising yet again to see the Red Sox make moves like this, and it's something that I think the Patriots can learn a good lesson from, in that you need to avoid these Rafael Devers situations, and especially for the Patriots that have some big time homegrown stars, if you will, with Drake May, Christian Gonzalez, and others, where hopefully that will be guys like Kyle Williams and guys like Travion Henderson, that it's so important to build that culture. And I think that's where you see some differences as well, whether it's a football locker room versus a baseball locker room, where it's a day-to-day grind. Football, yeah, everybody's grinding day to day, but you're only getting one game a week. Baseball, you're playing essentially every day. There's rarely any true practice time. You get some grounders and take some BP, and you're going right back to play the games. But the Patriots can learn that you have to avoid a situation like this, and the constant communication. And I think it shows why Mike Vrabel really was the right choice to be the head coach for this group. I will even take the admission that I had Ben Johnson slated as a potentially a better head coaching candidate in this cycle, just because of where the NFL has gone and how offense becomes so important. Maybe not necessarily because of a culture builder. And I think that is what the Patriots needed, more than being able to tap into a great offensive mind from a coordinator to a head coach level. Patriots doubled down on that by getting the culture building in Mike Vrabel, but also get the play calling with Josh McDaniels too. But again, avoiding the situations like this, make sure that Drake May stays in constant communication, understands his role on the team, what you're asking of him, and even for guys like Stephon Diggs that you bring in, understand your role. You might not get 10 to 12 balls per game because you want to spread things around and get the running backs involved, and he has to be okay with that. If he's only seeing 6 or 7 targets and catching 4 to 6 passes per game, it's got to be that way because you're doing it for the betterment of the team. Something that Rafael Devers did not understand when you say, we're moving you to DH because Alex Bregman is a better third baseman, or Casas goes down and we need help at first, and him not wanting to do a lot of those things. It just shows the importance of the NFL and needing all 53 men on the roster boat, if you will, and hopefully Mike Vrabel will be able to see this, learn from it, and make sure the Patriots are put in the best position to succeed moving forward. That'll do it for us here on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about this Rafael Devers mess for the Red Sox. Could there be any learning lessons here for the Patriots? And where you think the Patriots offense really does rank among the NFL's best. Make sure you give us a like if you've liked what you heard, and go back and check out all of our other episodes. We'll continue to have it right here for you on Pat's Latest. Fight on, Foxborough.